Alright, so I've been talking about letting go in the past several videos. And I know it's a lot easier said than done for a lot of people. A lot of people have told me that letting go is extremely difficult. And, I get it. It's something that I've had a lot of challenges with myself in my own life in all sorts of different situations, whether that was relationship situations or just, other personal situations. We're going to be talking about how to make letting go a lot easier on in this video. So please stay tuned through to the end because we're going to be getting into a lot of this. Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life. Again, we're talking about how to make letting go easy. So letting go is basically about being at peace with whatever happens for you, with whatever is going to unfold for you. It's about being detached from outcome. And it's about knowing that you're going to be okay no matter what happens. And that may make sense intellectually. And again, like with a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about recently on this channel, it's not just enough to, watch a video or two or anything like that and then say, okay, I intellectually get it. But you need to emotionally get it. You need to have an experience of it. Not just take in information. And you have to have this experience that you're going to be okay no matter what happens. You have to have this experience that you can be at peace no matter what happens. And that is, that's how you really let go emotionally. And that's really the big secret to making it easy, is to help teach your subconscious that it's going to be okay. We have different aspects of our lives. We have, obviously our mental, rational mind that we sort of, live our lives from, and we think we're in control, but really we're not. And then we have this sort of unconscious or subconscious mind that's really doing a lot of the heavy lifting behind the scenes. It does a lot of the emotional stuff. It causes you to feel insecure or anxious in social situations or in relationship situations. It causes you to feel worried about things. It causes you to feel attached from outcome because it tells you some story about scarcity or that there's not going to be enough or what. What we want to do is we want to speak down to this subconscious level rather than just trying to take in intellectual information. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story here. If you watch a lot of my videos, you probably heard this story recently. But I know not everybody watches every video, so I'm just going to tell it again. But, my mom has had some health issues over the past several months. Back in March or February, late March, early February, she had COVID. She was sick, basically all winter long with every cold imaginable. And then eventually she did get COVID. And then shortly after that, she ended up having a stroke that inspired me and my wife and daughter to come back to the United States. We were living in Mexico for the winter. And we came back to the United States to be with her and to make sure everything was going to be okay. And it seemed like everything was okay. But then I guess around the end of May, early June, she ended up having a heart attack as well too. And so since we were back in the U.S., I went and I spent a week just over where she lives. And, I took her to the hospital and went to the hospital every day to visit her. And then she got transferred to another hospital where they could do an operation that they couldn't do at the first hospital. And then, I was doing all these other sorts of things as well to help her out, like batch cooking a bunch of food so that she didn't have to worry about what am I going to eat after I get back from the hospital. Because, she had a stroke and she had a heart attack. I didn't want her driving around until, she was able to physically get her bearings and know what she's capable of doing and all that. I was basically stuffing her refrigerator full of food and trying to do some little errands and stuff for her to help make things a little bit easier. It was a challenging experience. Of course, there's all the things that I did, but there was also the emotional experience as well too of, seeing your mom having a hard time physically. I picked her up to take her to the emergency room. She was having a hard time breathing. She couldn't breathe. Later on, we found out it was because her lungs were pooling with fluid, because I guess if you have some sort of obstruction in a blood vessel, somehow fluid ends up going into your lungs. She was having a hard time breathing. And that was, obviously emotionally disturbing because, I was raised by my mom basically as a single mom. I'd see my dad from time to time, at least for the first 10 years of my childhood. But it wasn't the same, every other weekend versus someone who I'm with, basically 12 days out of 14. It was tough seeing her in that situation, and also thinking like, hey, what if this is it? What if this is the end of my mom's life? What if she's gonna die? And there's all kinds of emotional things that get stirred up with that. Of course, there's the grief of losing someone. There's also kind of the fear, the terror, I mean, like, maybe it's just me, but I find a certain sense of comfort in at least knowing that there's someone like an older generation sort of like above me, whether that's like my mom or, some other relative or something. But if that's gone, it's just like, okay, this is just me. It's just me against the world, and I have to, do what I can do to raise my daughter and, raise up the next generation and the generation after that. That seems a little bit tough. Whether it's because you're used to going to your parents when you're a young adult and you're like, hey, I don't know how to, rent an apartment. Will you help me out? Or I don't know how to deal with this adult thing. Can you help me out with it? And, maybe they help you out, maybe they guide you or whatever. They show you how they do it or something. And that can be useful. And to just think that like that safety net is gone, and it's just like, okay, it's just me. And then there's grief. And then there's the stress of everything that's going on. And then there's all sorts of other stories that I was telling myself about, hey, my daughter's, 3, about to turn 4 years old at the time. Is this all she's going to really remember of her grandmother? Just, whatever she's been able to soak up for these 3 years, and then, maybe remember some of them. I don't know. Is that it? Or is she just not going to know who her grandmother was? And all she'll really know is just the stories that I tell her. I don't know. This moment, this experience introduced me to a lot of attachments to outcome that I had that I didn't even know that I had. I didn't know that I had all these attachments to outcome of, having my mom see my daughter grow up. I didn't know that I had all these attachments to outcome of having a closer connection with my mom than maybe I've had over the past few years as, adult life sort of overwhelms you I get, at least for me anyway, it's happening in my late 30s and 40s. You just kind of get caught on the treadmill of life and just trying to deal with all the circumstances and issues and surprises that seem to happen in life, that you just kind of get caught up and you lose track of what's important to you. I had to sit with these emotions and sit with them and work on letting go of them. It's not to say that I wanted to, again, strive to, I feel nothing for you, Mom. You're dead to me. Like, it wasn't anything like that. But it's like knowing that, like, hey, I can be at peace with this. If my mom is going to die, it's going to happen. It will happen someday. If it's going to happen now, okay, I'd rather her go and not suffer. But I can be at peace with this. I can be at peace with letting go of my attachment to outcome and know that I'm going to be okay no matter what. I can be at peace with, whatever happens. I can be okay. I can teach my subconscious that we're going to be okay, and all of this scarcity, all of this fear, all of this anxiety, all of this insecurity that could be being stirred up within me, it's something that I can let go of and get through to the other side and know that I'm going to be okay. This has allowed me to handle my emotions about all of this in a much better way, much safer way, much healthier way. Just to close up the story, my mom seems to be okay. She's doing a lot better. She can breathe a lot better now that they, got her the care that she needed. And, she seems to be doing a lot better. And I hope that continues. But I've also learned to be detached from outcome in a way where I still care about her and I still want her to be healthy and I still want to have a connection with her. But I know that I'm going to be okay no matter what happens. And that's really what true detachment from outcome means. It's being able to know that you're going to be okay no matter what happens. Not intellectually, but on an emotional level. We're not trying to talk to the brain here. We're trying to talk to the heart here. And if you can really get that to click in your own heart, then that's how you're able to truly become detached from outcome. Anyway, if you do like this video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification bell as well too while you're down there. And just drop me a comment, just letting me know that you like these videos that I do. As you detach from outcome, there's going to be a lot less scarcity in your life. There's going to be a lot less desperation in your life. There's going to be a lot less validation seeking in your life. And it's going to help you to come across in relationships and in other areas of your life in a much more powerful way. Because you're going to know that you're going to be okay no matter what happens. Even if things don't go the way you want them to. You can have a normal human experience and grieve and all that sort of stuff. But you're going to be at peace about it. It's not going to mean something more than it needs to. It's not going to crush you in as deep a way as if your whole ego is on the line as to whether or not they say yes or no to a date or a relationship or, whatever else it could be that you might ask them. And that's where true freedom comes from. True freedom to express yourself. True freedom to go after what you want. True freedom to be released from insecurity and fear and anxiety. And I think that's a worthwhile goal to go for. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video. And if you do want to go on this journey with me, and if this does seem like a worthwhile goal for you too, then I'd like you to check out this video playlist right over here. It's on how to automatically attract the relationship and love in your life that you want by focusing in on your way of being. Take care. Thanks for listening to my story, and I'll talk to you next time.